welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. So I'm a little bit late on this train, okay, but I wanted to do my top reads of 2025, and I'll add in a few like honorary mentions of books that I also kind of just loved. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first honorary mention is The Trap by Catherine Ryan Howard, and I absolutely loved this book. Okay, I have a review of it where I just like did my wrap-ups. I'll put it up here. I absolutely loved this book. I think I'll put up all my wrap-ups in the description box because I think all of these books that I'm about to mention today are obviously in those wrap-ups, but I think all except for one. But yes, I absolutely loved this book. The twist at the end was absolutely phenomenal. I just think the book was a little bit slow towards the beginning, and I remember finishing this book and I was like, wait, what? So I kind of had to go back and kind of just like, I feel like the next time I read it, I might literally love it even more because then I would understand what exactly was happening. But I absolutely loved it. It was a time, and yeah. Another book that I'm adding to my honorary mention is the Mind F series, and I started reading this book I think in 2024, and I read the last book towards the beginning, like right around the beginning of January last year was when I finished the last book, and I will give the entire series like 5 stars, but there were some books within the series that I was just like, maybe they weren't all that like 5 stars worthy. But the series in general, I will give it 5 stars. But I just felt like it was a very short book, so I'm not sure if I should like rank it kind of like individually or just rank it like as like a whole book. So I think I just decided to put it kind of like as an honorary mention and just let that be that. But yes, the Mind F series, and I forget this author. But yeah, it was a fantastic book. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Like, we support women's wrongs and their rights, okay? This is definitely giving that. We love a revenge plot. Everything is just. There are some gruesome parts in this one, I'll give you that. There are some gruesome parts in this one. But we love a revenge story. We love a story of a woman is getting revenge. Here for it. Here for it. But yeah. This John Marr's book, I loved this book. I forgot the title of the book, honestly, but I'll obviously put it up here. I loved it. I thought this book was just so beautifully like written. It was so beautiful. The story was beautifully told. I really did enjoy it. I don't know why I didn't give it the full 5 stars. I think I really don't know why I didn't give it the full 5 stars, but because I didn't give it 5 stars, it wasn't necessarily like in my top favorites, but I did thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. And I think this is like my highest um rated John Marr's book thus far. And I loved it. I loved it. I had a fun time reading it, and the plot twist was pretty good, but it wasn't like shocking, you know. But just it was a good thriller read. I feel like it was a great thriller read, and I enjoyed it. I really did love it. So yeah, then I think is the last one on my honorary mentions. Now I'm getting into the books that I absolutely loved, the books that are top of the list for me in 2025. And yes, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. Now, this book, I feel like this book is ranked in the lowest simply because it was like a 5 star, but it could have been like a 4.99999. I absolutely loved it. There was nothing wrong with the book. It was like a cutesy romance, right? And I just loved it. I had a fun time reading this book. But if I had to rank it, honestly, I'd probably like rank it like it's above like a 4.75, but it doesn't quite reach a 5, right? So obviously I had to give it just like 5 stars. But yeah, and this one is basically about a girl who's basically just been going her whole life with half a soul, and so she's on a journey to figure out how to fix her problem, and then we just go on that journey with her. And like I said, all of these books are going to be in my wrap-up videos. I think I described them a lot better there. I just wanted to do this kind of just like telling you the top books that I read this year. The next one is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, and this was another accidental pregnancy. I don't like accidental pregnancies, I don't particularly enjoy them, and it's just so surprising to me that there are actually two books that is like my top reads of the year that are accidental pregnancies, but I particularly don't like those. This one was about Bo and Win, and they had like a one night stand, and then she obviously got pregnant, and now they kind of just like are trying to become friends and navigate this new phase in their lives. And they are, this like is a representation on disabilities, because he lost his leg and due to cancer, and she, I think she was born with a limb missing on her arm. So yeah, so that's what that was about, and it was fun times, it was cute, it was just a beautiful romance book, honestly, and I really did enjoy it. The next one is My Darlings by Mary Still, and this book is a thriller, and I loved it, I was here for it. This woman is a serial unaliver, and she just unalives people for fun, okay? It was a fun time, and she was unhinged. Like the entire time, I was like, girl, what are you gonna do next? Because you could literally do anything. She was so unhinged. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time trying to figure out, is she gonna do it, is she not? And you bet she did it. All of it. Whatever it is you think that she could possibly do, she did it. She honestly did it. And I was just like, girl, you're Not by Cara Stone. And when I tell you, this book had every single trope, like it had four different tropes that I do not like at all, but somehow in this book they worked, okay? This one is a romance and I absolutely loved it. Accidental pregnancy, friends to lovers, best friend's brother. What was the last one? A triangle, love triangle of sorts, not quite a love triangle, but something along those lines, right? Those are four tropes that I generally don't particularly like, but they worked in this book. This book was so beautiful, and the main male character, oh my gosh, he's like book boyfriend, okay? He's like second book boyfriend. Like he comes literally number two book boyfriends. He's perfect. He's absolutely perfect, okay? The next one is First Time Caller by B.K. Barrison. And this book, oh my gosh. Like I think after reading this book, I knew this book was going to be a favorite because I absolutely loved it. I feel like the main female character represented me in so many different ways. The way she spoke about love, the way she spoke about how she wanted to be loved, and I just absolutely, she represented me in so many different ways. The way she spoke about love, the way she spoke about how she wanted to be loved, and I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was cutesy. It was definitely giving slow burn, and just like it was perfect amounts of slow burn, like the perfect way to do slow burn. And I also think that it was just also about family, and I loved it. I loved this book, and she is also a single mother, so we love that. And yeah, this next book, okay, this book was the last book that I read, probably the only book that I read in December, because after reading this one, I didn't want to read anymore, honestly. I didn't want to read anymore, and December was just a busy month. A lot goes on around December time, and I was also trying to do like vlogmas, so everything was just all over the place. My reading was just not happening, so the only book that I read in December, and it just so happened to make it to my top list, is We Are All Guilty by Karen Slaughter. I wanted to read another book by Karen Slaughter, and the fact that this is like the second book I've read by her is just great because I loved this book. I loved it. I ate it up. It was a little bit long, I'll give it that. It was a little bit long, and I did kind of like predict what was going on, but I was here for the ride. I was honestly just here for the ride. I didn't predict like the main plot twist, but I did kind of like predict the side ones, and I can also kind of like, it's like a series, right? It's the first book in a series, and I already know what the next plot twist in the book is going to be, what one of the twists is going to be in the book. So I'm pretty sure about this one. But yeah, I loved it. I had a fun time reading it. This is about a woman who, she's a detective, and her best friend's daughter goes missing, and she blames herself because the daughter was actually asking her for help just before she went missing. So she blames herself, and now she must just make sure she finds her, and she's just hoping she finds her alive because both the teenage daughter as well as the friend went missing together. And I there was a time jump here that I was not expecting. I just can't say anything about it, but there was a time jump here that I was not expecting, and I think it added an entirely different dimension to the story. Did it add like a sad dimension to the story? Kind of, but I really did enjoy it, and yeah, I loved it. I really did love this one. The next one is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. And when I tell you that this book, it was like a slow burn and I was eating it up. Every single moment of this book, I was eating it up. I was enjoying this book so much. And I think this book has like a lot to say about just like the lives we never get to live. Because in this book, there's about a man whose siblings got murdered, and he then gets accused of being the one that analyzed them, and so he's just always carried that thing where people just think that he was the one that unalived his siblings. But we also get POVs of people that I didn't expect to find in this book, and I think that's what made this book so special, because you get a POV of a teenager and the type of life that they had and the type of person that they would have become had things not turned out the way that they did. And obviously we figure out what happened to his brothers and who actually unalived them. We figure out if it was really him or not, and he's basically asking his daughter to write his memoir. I think it's called a memoir. But yeah, I love this book. I loved it, loved it, loved it so much. When I gave this book 5 stars, I was like, oh, can I give it 6? Because absolutely phenomenal. Next book is this one, okay? 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I read this book in January, and reading a book that you absolutely loved the beginning of the month, not a good idea, because afterwards I feel like a couple of the books that I was reading just weren't doing it like this one. But this is another romance. I feel like in my top 10 I have quite a few romances, which is very odd for me because I generally don't like reading romances, but I absolutely loved this one. And this one is about two writers who had 7 days in June when they were teenagers, and then they met 15 years later, and she's a single mother now. And yeah, they met 15 years later. They're both writers, but they obviously write like different genres, and they've just basically been writing about each other. They've been each other's muse I don't know, muses, whatever. They've been each other's muse, and they write like their stories about one another, and I just thought it was super cute. And I feel like people say it's trauma bonding. I'll allow it. I'll allow it, but I don't care. I loved it. And I also just think the way that this man loves her, the way that he loved her back then as well, it was just so beautiful. I thought this story was so, so beautiful. And like, I mean, I loved it. Here it is, and this one is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. And when I tell you, I love this book so much. This is a Christian romance, and I absolutely love this book because it's just such a beautiful love story, okay? Such a phenomenal love story. And I think also it touches on a very, very serious topic, a very sad topic. And this one is obviously also romance. I love this book so much. I wanted to reread it. I did actually start rereading this book in the same year. Then I got into like a slump, and life's just been really bad. But I love this book so much that I wanted to read it twice in 1 year. And that's, I think, this one and Redeeming Love. I think these love stories are just so beautiful, and I think they are very timeless. Like sometimes you read books and you're like, I mean, I can see why they would love each other, but with these ones, it's just like timeless type of love, the kind that you rarely ever find. And I just thought that was just beautiful. So guys, those are all the books that I absolutely loved in 2025. I hope in 2026 I can read even more incredible books, okay? And yeah, so until next time guys, bye.